If you clicked on this video, you're either dealing with a porn addiction, or you just want to find out why porn is destroying your life and your future. Around 8 years ago, I was in the exact same situation as you. And personally for me, no one had told me how bad porn actually was for you. In fact, a common belief was that it was a good way to relieve stress with minimal downsides. But I eventually came to realize that this was a lie, and that although porn may make you feel good in the moment, the long-term effects of it will make you feel anything but good. And the sooner you quit, the sooner you'll be able to reverse the damage it's doing to you and live an overall better quality of life. So make sure to watch to the end, because once you're aware of these 5 ways, you'll be able to see how they're affecting you in your own life, which will eventually help you overcome your own porn addiction. Reason number 1, makes you a zombie. Now we all know how it feels after you just spent the last hour browsing the internet, clicking on multiple tabs, only to immediately X out everything after you finish and be like, what the fuck did I just watch? For some of you, it may be even more extreme. The point is that after you finish, you probably feel tired, somewhat guilty, lazy, and generally unproductive. On top of that, you just wasted a whole hour that could have been used to do something productive with your life. Now, doing this once or twice every now and then isn't so bad, but turning this into a habit actually has lasting effects on the body. More specifically, lasting effects on the dopamine receptors in your brain. And if you don't know what dopamine receptors are, in a simplistic sense, think of them as the tools your body uses to regulate and send signals throughout the body that you end up feeling in the form of joy, pleasure, and happiness. In the way dopamine receptors are supposed to be used, you would perform an action towards a specific result that has to be earned, and over a period of time, you would get hits of dopamine that encourage you to keep going. As an example, think of consistently working out and building your dream body. It takes time to do this. You can't just flip a switch and instantly get it. But when you watch porn, you're basically flipping that switch. You're tricking your mind into thinking that you're getting all these women and having all these amazing experiences, so your dopamine receptors are going wild and giving you more and more feelings of pleasure to encourage you to keep going, when in reality, you're obviously not having actual experiences with women. So just like getting a hit from a drug consistently, you begin to overstimulate your dopamine receptors over time. You need more and more hits of porn to get that same feeling. This is why long-term porn addicts eventually move on to more and more extreme types of porn. But this doesn't just affect how good you feel from watching porn. This affects your whole life and everything that you do. Because after continually doing this, your dopamine receptors have developed such a high tolerance for pleasure from the porn you're consistently watching, that the simple things in life that would normally bring you pleasure, like going on a walk and just appreciating the beauty that surrounds you, having a conversation with your friends or loved one, reading a book, or accomplishing a goal you've set over time, all of these begin to pale in comparison, and they end up feeling boring, which causes you over time to seek out more and more extreme circumstances in life just so you can feel something. And if you don't seek out these extreme circumstances that trigger emotional highs and lows for you, you end up just feeling depressed most of the time, until you watch porn, of course. It also fucks with your motivation to do anything in life. Why would you spend years to build your dream body when you can just go on your computer, watch porn, and instantly feel amazing? This point alone should be enough for you to want to stop. The hit you get from porn literally hijacks your brain and makes you dependent upon it over time. Just think how badly this is affecting you long term. I mean, it's basically sedating you and keeping you in the same spot you've always been in. And if you want to get into conspiracies, let's just say it makes a lot of sense why it's free and widely available. Reason number 2, distorted view. So if that last reason wasn't enough for you, did I mention that it drastically distorts your view of women and the relationship dynamics you create with them? It's no coincidence that at the same time the majority of the world is hooked on porn, the majority of the world is also experiencing toxic relationships that's resulting in a promiscuous dating culture filled with cheaters, manipulators, and historically high divorce rates. And obviously porn isn't the sole reason why this is happening, but it's definitely playing its part. I remember when I was finally able to overcome my own addiction, my relationships with women started to improve. I wasn't so awkward anymore, and I just started to see them as human beings. Before, when I had a porn addiction, it was almost as if I couldn't see them realistically. I saw them more in this immature light, where they were more of a projection that I could use to fulfill my fantasies, rather than a real-life human being who has their own strengths and weaknesses. But I wasn't able to realize this. And while you're on porn, it's very hard to realize that your views are distorted like this, because you don't have any other frame of reference. It's only after you get off it that you're able to see how distorted your views actually were. I obviously know most of you want good relationships with women, so just realize that when you're watching something that puts women into a certain light that isn't realistic, all of that is going directly into your subconscious mind and affecting you over time, which will cause you to seek out and attract negative relationships that recreate these distortions in your own life. This won't always happen, but it can result in you attracting promiscuous, manipulative partners, or partners that just don't respect you. Do you want this type of partner in your life? It's your choice. Now, before I move on to the next point and tell you the third way your porn addiction is destroying your life and future, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more unique, high quality content that's designed to help you level up your life and reach your highest potential. Reason number 3. You become weak. As a man, the last thing you want to be is weak. Whether it be physically weak, mentally weak, or spiritually weak. The weaker you are as a man, the harder your life will be. So much so that life itself seeks to root out weakness in men. A weak man is never respected. People will walk all over him. He will be looked down upon by his peers, and he won't accomplish anything in life. And probably the worst thing, he won't even be able to respect himself. Because although he might lie to himself and blame others, deep down he knows he's weak, because he allows himself to be, and he has to live with that every single day. This is what porn does to you. As I said earlier, it sedates you. It drains your motivation. It makes you complacent. It lowers your self-esteem and makes you stay in that oh so good feeling comfort zone. On a deeper level, it feminizes you, because masculine energy itself is meant to go out and expand. The moment you finish watching porn, you don't want to do any of these things. On top of this, there's also studies that link porn addiction with lowered testosterone, which results in an impacted sex drive and a lower overall mood. Just think what this is doing to you psychologically over time. With a lower self-esteem, weakened willpower, and no motivation to succeed, you're literally making your life harder for yourself, while there's other men who are doing the exact opposite and reaping the fruits of their labor. It also encourages you to think that short-term gratification is better than long-term fulfillment, which from my own experience from consistently following my dream for over a decade now is nowhere close to the truth. Reason number 4. Physical issues. Alright, so if these past 3 reasons weren't enough to highlight to you the dark reality of porn, these next ones are going to hit a little closer to home because they're physical and very impactful. I say this because one physical effect that is actually quite common among long-term porn users is called PIED, or porn-induced erectile dysfunction. I'm pretty sure most of you probably already know what this is. But in short, when you're with a partner, you might have some trouble getting it up, so you're gonna have to go take pills like Viagra basically, or others that give you a better erection. This results in a vicious circular cycle, where now you're not even just dependent upon porn, now you're also dependent on pills just to have sex, which is obviously going to result in a decreased quality of sex with your partner. And if you're unable to have great sex with your partner, guess what you're going to turn back to? It's something where you don't have to deal with any of these problems. You guessed it, more porn. So the cycle just repeats. A couple other physical effects that stood out to me involve serotonin imbalances, reduced sensitivity during sex, and increased refractory periods. Yikes. Reason number 5. It becomes a crutch. Beyond all of these issues, what porn really does is it gives you an infinite get out of jail free card. What I mean by this is that porn makes it extremely easy for you to hide your issues behind pleasure and distractions. Having trouble attracting a partner? Watch porn and feel good now. Depressed about your life but you don't know what to do about it? Watch porn and feel good now. In a job you hate but too afraid to leave? Watch porn and feel good now. Do you see what I mean? Imagine if porn never existed. I'm not saying all these scenarios would just magically disappear, but I am saying that it would be a lot harder for you to distract yourself from them, which would mean you'd have a higher chance to actually acknowledge your emotion, process them, and do something about them, which would result in your issues being solved, rather than being able to mask them with a drug that allows you to temporarily forget about everything else and feel good now. Guys, I speak from first-hand experience when I say overcoming your porn addiction is not easy. It took me years to quit, but it is possible. and the other side is infinitely better. So much so that I would never go back to watching it again. But now that you're aware of the dark reality of porn, you've gained the ability to make the decision to break free from it. That's why your next step is to watch this video where I talk about how to overcome your porn addiction and learn how to stay on nofap and semen retention. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next one. Love you guys. Peace.